visibility across your CRM and across your corporate communications tool. Departments, collaboration, and announcements, right? So Go Pomelo, our experience with WorkPlace has been great internally. And really, it's for all of that. We have teams, department teams and groups, and then we have company-wide groups. So really, everyone can peek in and see what's going on. So there is kind of no excuse to not know what's happening in the business, right? It's all there. It's all very easy to access. Other communications tool. I'm a bit surprised too to see that not a lot of people are using Facebook Live, mainly because I'm using it pretty much weekly. But it is a great tool. It's basically a way to broadcast everything to everything in your organization very easily. And obviously the chat and video features that you use too with Consumer Messenger. And enterprise tools. They are necessary for the big companies, especially with authentication, security, being able to report, things like that. You need those things to be compliant, and Facebook and WorkPlace have developed those tools, and partners like GoPomelo, we can help you implement that for your organization. All right, so that was a quick recap. Now I'll talk to you about using chatbots in enterprise. Now, a lot of people have this misconception about the bots and robots are going to take over, right? I think we're in a very interesting time right now technologically, because we're really seeing the advancement of machine learning and artificial intelligence really kind of be infused into our daily lives, right? Obviously, some people think this is a bad thing, some people think this is a good thing. Whichever side of it you're on, it's here and it's happening. So you kind of have to embrace it. Bots have been around for a long time. As Anthony said, they've been known as chatbots, web bots, different things, right? Basically, it's just an application that runs an automated script over the web, right? Back in the day, well, at least back in my day of early internet use, I remember the web crawler bots and things like that, right? So they've been around for a long time, just that now, with the implementation of artificial intelligence and machine learning, they're really starting to be able to impact businesses and consumer behavior. Now, where do the bots come from, right? This is a slide I refer to a lot in my talks and talking with customers, because bots come from a lot of different things. Obviously, they're a product of the field of artificial intelligence, but different bots are implementing different technologies within artificial intelligence to provide their service, to run their scripts, and to interact with people. Now, here are just a couple, right? Some very simple ones. Well, not simple, but easy to identify, right? So you have things like natural language processing. Natural language processing you see in things like Google Translate and other things where you're taking speech, converting it into text, things like that. Speech systems, obviously speech and text. And then, image recognition as well. Being able for a bot to recognize what an image is, and then being able to do an action based on what it sees in the image, or getting context from the image so that it can, help the script or help the function of the user. All of these are kind of using machine learning in some sense because they're taking input data and adjusting their schema or their models based on what they're seeing. And that's great, right? Because it's not like a person that can get tired after looking at the same thing for 5 hours or getting 100 phone calls. Their performance may decline. With a bot, you can constantly feed it information from different sources, and it constantly learns. Now, back, when bots started becoming around, bots got a real bad name, right? You always heard about it in the news, the spam bot. The guy who would be sending you 5,000 emails about the condo in Boca Raton, Florida, or the guy who was asking you for a $1,000 donation to his charity, something like that, right? So back initially, bots had a bad name. You had the spam bots. You got things like zombie bots, which would actually take over a computer for a nefarious or bad purpose to be used in maybe something like a denial of service attack or something like that. But basically hijacking a computer, someone else's computer, to do something bad. Then you have like the malicious bots and the fraud bots, which actually very easy to tell. Their name implies what they do. They spread malware, they spread viruses. They try to get your personal information, your financial details. So all of these things kind of gave bots a bad name in the initial day. And these things are still around, right? And they are more advanced because they are using machine learning and artificial intelligence as well. But you've seen specifically with spam bots the proliferation of filtering. Spam filtering in Gmail, spam filtering in things like 365 and enterprise email is a result of things like spam bots, right? Because people don't want to see that in their organization and they don't want to be left susceptible to attack. Now, I like to call these the big bots, right? I think this is now what we're focusing on, especially in enterprise and consumer-facing products, right? They have some cool names, right? The Shield, the Social, the Proactive. Cool names, and these aren't my definitions, these are definitions that are going around in the industry and people are using them. To kind of go back, all of these are kind of an offshoot of the optimizer, right? Why did we create bots? Bots were created to do a task, repetitive task over and over, make it easier and process something quickly. You have bots like the Shield bot. So the Shield bot is one we see kind of in consumer service, or customer service, where people have these interactions with a customer service agent or a technician that can be rather unpleasant. I'll give you an example. How many people here like to call their bank? Right, exactly. Because what do you have to do when you call the bank? You call the bank. You have to press 1 for this, well, you have to press 1 for your language, or 9 for your language. Then you have to press 1 for this department. Then you have to, what is your request? Do you need a new credit card application? Do you want to report a stolen card? Press 1, press 2. It can be about 10 minutes before you get to actually where you want to be and actually get to someone you want to talk to, right? And by that time you could be aggravated, you could be stressed out, you could be wanting to scream at the person that actually talks to you. That's not fair to them, that's not fair to you, but that's a product of the system and how it's designed. But with a Shield, you can have a much more, let's say, easier interaction with the service bot or the consumer service bot in a very familiar setting, in your chat, right? You're not sitting there on your phone, waiting. You're constantly getting feedback. Okay, what information do you need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You hit 1. You can quickly get to the next menu. You quickly get to the next station in the process, in the workflow. So it allows you to shield yourself from that stress of having to deal with that, right? So that's a great one. I love the Shield type bots. You have the Social bot. The Social bot you'll see a lot in marketing and promotions because, as the name implies, it's used for social interaction. We see this a lot in the gaming industry. If anyone's familiar with Call of Duty or any of those type of series of video games, they routinely launch bots either in in-game chats or in user groups or like fan page groups on Facebook, on Click, on WeChat, that basically are there to hype up the game, to promote the game. And they do this by interacting with the users in the groups, offering them prizes, offering them promotions, doing quizzes, right? Things that keep the customer engaged and getting them to want more from the product, from the game, whatever it might be. I'll talk about some other examples of this as well. A lot of different big companies are using the Social as well. The proactive is helping you to do something, a specific task, schedule a task. It could be a very narrow interaction, but it's helping you quickly get to a result. And we can talk about some of those as well. My favorite is the Superbot. Now, the Superbot, you're seeing a lot more now. They're being very well documented in the media. It's kind of it's a combination of all of these, right? The Superbot can do it all. Now, what's a Superbot? You guys are familiar with these, right? The digital assistant. They've made some big waves in the last couple of years. Amazon, they have Alexa. Google has Google Home and Google Assistant. So these are bots, right, with a hardware component that allows you to interact with them, with speech, with text, with all of these different inputs. But it allows you to quickly do a lot of things. So it's helping you to turn off your lights. It's helping you to schedule an Uber, order a pizza, right? I mean, all of these things are automated within the Superbot itself. So it's really helping you in a lot of different ways. You know, some people don't like talking to the pizza delivery guy. Some people don't want to deal with Uber or the taxi driver, whatever it might be. So these types of hardware appliances and the surrounding AI and bots around them are enabling that technology and those interactions. So, you know, we've talked about these, but really kind of some key industries and key opportunities for bots are in these 4 fields. So obviously, customer service is a very big one. Because a lot of customer service workflows are already scripted. 1, 2, 3, customer needs X, go to C, then go to D, go to E, get F. So you can kind of map out the programming, map out the logic quite easily. So instead of mapping, you know, instead of employing a call center with 5,000 people on the phone, maybe you can reduce that. You know, it is an area where people are looking to save costs. Internet of Things. Now, Internet of Things is a wide topic. It means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Basically, I like to kind of give a use case with it where imagine you pull up to a street light in your car, street light's not working, all kinds of traffic problems, things like that. People don't know when to go, right? Imagine being able to hopefully pull over and safely open your phone and then send a message to the Metropolitan Electrical Authority. Give them a message, say, hey, I want to report an issue. A bot responds to you, logs your issue, logs your location, and then is able to implement either a service team to come out, or if it's an Internet of Things, like a connected city type product or light, be able to be manually restarted based on the input from the service bot or from the from the service bot. So imagine instead of having a down traffic light, you know, taking a full day to repair, having 3 or 4 technicians coming to be checking it and not really knowing what the issue is, reducing that reaction time to a couple of minutes, especially if it's a connected product where it could be remotely reset and reconfigured. E-commerce, another big opportunity there. Digital shoppers, digital shopping assistant, analyzing of, you know, recommendations, product recommendations, things like that. These are all things where customers, or we're seeing a lot of development on the enterprise side and also on the consumer side. And then obviously, marketing. Marketing is a huge one because it allows you to engage with people, all kinds of people within a familiar format like chat. So this is the social bot, if you will. And these have kind of exploded. This is a very popular graphic that a lot of people are using now because of the proliferation of chat. We're actually at a point now where people are using more chat apps than they are social media. So in some cases, and I apologize to Anthony and Malta, but maybe people are using Messenger more than they're actually using Facebook. You know, because it's just a familiar interface and it's easy to use, right? It can be used on mobile, it can be used on a desktop. So this is kind of what's driving the proliferation of these bots and their development, because these are where people are interacting. They're interacting in chat. And these are some of the platforms they're using, right? These are very familiar logos to everyone, I'm sure. We've got Telegram. Telegram has a bot store within the application for very simple tasks. I don't know if anyone exercises or things like that, but Kick, they have a bot that will tell you how much weight to put on a barbell if you're in the gym. So if you say, I want to pick up a barbell that has 135 pounds, it will tell you very quickly, okay, you need 2 45-pound plates and the barbell. Kind of a very simple interaction, but it is helpful, right? And it can save someone some embarrassment in the gym if they don't know and they have to go ask the huge guy with the big muscles, and he just kind of looks at them like they're crazy. WeChat, Skype, again, a large usage of bots in these platforms because they're familiar to people and they can very easily ramp up a bot and get feedback. And it's also good for the business, right? Because they're getting constant feedback from their users on what's happening in their platform. Some impressive names here, right? These are companies that are using consumer-facing bots for a lot of different reasons. I'll just go through a couple of them, but a big one that's made a lot of splash really is the KLM Facebook Messenger app. Within the KLM Messenger app, you can print your
Tao mới
boarding
gọi điện
pass,
tiếp thị á,
change
nó
your
kêu là
flight
mình gọi lại cho nó
details,
liền.
get flight information, get airport information. It's actually extremely useful, right? So imagine you can stay within your Facebook Messenger and check in and actually board an
Có số của nó
airplane
chưa?
without actually having to go to another app or anything like that. So extremely powerful. KLM has made a big splash on that because it's a very well-used bot across all of their businesses on the
Nó đáng có đó.
People like Pizza Hut. Now,
đáng có những thông tin đó.
Here in Vietnam, I know it's available in the US. You can order a pizza from Facebook Messenger with the app Pizza Hut bot. It knows where you are because it's using geolocation. It's connecting you to the nearest dealer, the nearest Pizza Hut, and then by doing that, you can order your pizza customized and don't have to worry about the guy on the phone screwing up your order. It's very clear what you ordered, the options are there, it's all documented, right? So that's good. It helps to eliminate some consumer problems. People like Uber and Lyft. Anyone familiar with Lyft? It's basically like Uber, but North American based. They have a bit of a different product offering and different pricing model, but essentially it's ride sharing. You can hail a Lyft or an Uber from within Facebook Messenger, right? And you can get the details about the driver, what car they're in, you can change the times, you can cancel. Everything you can do in-app in those two applications, you can now do in Messenger. And why did they do that? Why are they taking away from their core application? Because they saw that people were using it in Facebook. That a lot of these things were kind of tests and betas that once they saw, people really are using these, deployed them further, made them more intelligent, if you will. RBS, Bank of America, financial institutions, helping that customer service problem, that customer service workflow, reducing costs, but also reducing errors, right? Because within a bot, you're given limited choices. So it's kind of hard to mess up, right? The bot's not going to press the wrong button. You're entering the button and interacting with it. So it's just processing what you're telling it to do. And then obviously you have people like the NBA doing promotions, Sephora, the ladies in the room I'm sure are familiar with Sephora. They use bots for promotional activities, and they really see large increases in certain marketing campaigns through the use of bots. So these are more consumer-facing products, right? But on the enterprise side, and what we'll talk about now is bots for WorkPlace, and specifically WorkPlace Messenger. Facebook has been kind of a leader in this field. They're a leader in the field of AI and machine learning. So it makes sense that their enterprise bots would have an impact. Now, I've been graciously given some content by my friends at Facebook about some different bots, and I'll talk about some bots that actually GoPomlo has built for our internal business. But a very simple one, HR, right? Anthony mentioned HR previously, but imagine just being able to ask a very simple question to your HR, but not really having to bother someone, right? Because sometimes you don't want to go up to that person, take their time for a very simple question. So for example, George, who is one of the head programmers and technical leads in Facebook Singapore, he wanted to ask, hey, what's the public holidays this year, or next year, excuse me. Because he wants to be able to plan his holiday, know what days are available. So he quickly posts to the chat, and then the HR assistant bot is the one who responds to him. Not a person, a bot. So very quickly, the HR bot responds saying, hey Bob, or hey George, here are the holidays for Singapore for next year, for 2017. Very quick, instant gratification. George doesn't have to feel like he's wasting someone's time or intruding on their time, and very quickly gets the relevant information he needs. So it makes it a very painless process. Next, along the lines of HR, is a Mudo meter. Now, this is a very interesting one. How many people in your company have an employee survey? Who's ever done an employee happiness survey? Or nobody? Okay, 1, 2, okay, a couple people, right? Generally, I guess kind of in different times, these would be done once a year, right? But this could really skew the results and skew the data. Because imagine if you do the employee survey only at the end of the year. That could be a very bad problem because at the end of the year, most people are tired. Q3 was very hard. Q4 was even harder. A lot of projects, a lot of deadlines. So by the end of the year, they may be kind of burnt out and looking for the holiday. So they may not be truthfully saying how happy they really are with their job. So with something like the Moodometer, you can reduce that time for insight for employee satisfaction to days, to weeks, to months, right? You can run these very quickly because they can be done in 2 minutes. Now, I'll quickly go to this slide, and gentlemen, you can press play for me. This is the MoodBot in action. And you're going to watch. It's 30 seconds. So, MoodBot sends a message to Gabriel. Gabriel, yeah. So, Gabriel, how happy are you? 1 to 5. He says 4. So, Gabriel's pretty happy. So, how long do you plan to work here? Gives him his choices, 2 to 5 years. Okay, great. How's your current mood? There you go, great. All right, next one. So, very quickly, Gabriel's given feedback to his HR about how he's feeling, how long he plans to stay at the company, and what his general mood is, right? That's very valuable. Now, if we'll go to the next slide, just go down one. Okay, so here is from the boss's side, from the admin side. He quickly sees, okay, he's going to get the results. So, let's see. So Julian, here's the results from the survey. He wants to send them the results. So very quickly he finds out 68% of his employees are pretty happy. They're feeling good. 22% are tired, 10% are stressed. And he has a good sample size. 240 plus people out of his 300 employees responded to that. So he has a very good sense of how the majority of his team is feeling. And it only took, altogether, a minute. For Jordan, for Julian, for everybody to do the interaction. This is really powerful because from the management perspective, Julian can now look at his business and maybe he can go talk to HR and say, hey, maybe find out what's stressing out these 22% of people. How can we help them be less stressed? Maybe he can adjust the manpower, the resources, so that his people that are tired, they can get some more time off. Or that they can have a reduced workload, right? Because happy employees are productive employees, right? And so for as a manager, you can see how easy it is for him to quickly get a pulse and a sense of how his company is doing, not just financially, but internally, right? What's the morale? That's very important, especially when you get to larger businesses, because a lot of times the management can get disconnected from how the rest of the teams are doing. And for the customer, or excuse me, for the staff member, he feels like, okay, someone is checking in on me, someone cares, I'm not just kind of a cog in the machine, right? People are asking him about how he feels, hopefully to help him improve his job, right? So that's pretty powerful from the management side and from the employee side. Another one, and this is taken directly from Facebook, because Facebook, they run data centers, they run their own infrastructure, so they need to have people that are on call 24/7. If the server goes down, if there's a problem with the software, anything like that. So imagine anyone that works in an industry, a critical industry, maybe a hospital, where this example comes from, or maybe it's an electrical authority, maybe you run a data center. Business applications where you need to have staff ready to go at any time. This is a great tool. You don't have to have someone on the phone at all hours of the night calling people, paging people. The bot can do it for you because all someone has to do is report the problem to the bot, and then they can enable action and activate the right team members. So, good morning, George. You're on call today for Clinic 1. Please confirm that you're on duty. He confirms, and then as soon as he does, he knows, all right, what's going on. There's 2 incidents going on, and who he needs to contact about each one to get more information and what the next steps might be. So this is very important, right? It helps reduce costs. It helps reduce time to reaction. So very important for businesses that have these critical operations that cannot stop. Another one is a scheduler bot. Now, I have this problem myself. I have my work calendar and I have my personal calendar, and they never seem to match up. I'm always double booking myself, and I'm having this issue where my wife and my family hate me sometimes because I double book myself for a call at 8 p.m. with America, and everyone's expecting me to go to dinner. So, you know, something like Scheduler Bot could be used to manage both those calendars, inform you of conflicts, and then help you manage your schedule around that, right? So that's very useful for everything, right? It's not just business. But, you know, also allow you to set reminders, who's more important, something like that. But, you know, allows you to better curate your schedule and be more connected. Lost property. This one is a good one for if you have a mall or a hospital or a large facility where people are constantly losing things are getting left behind, and you have a lost and found. Imagine you lose your jacket at a train station. It gets reported. You then go to the train station's Facebook page and say, hey, at Lost and Found Bot, I think I lost my jacket there. Can you search for items lost yesterday? And then it will give you the inventory of what was collected, and then that person can claim it. I mean, obviously they may have to go there and show some identification and things like that, but at least they have a sense of peace that, okay, it's there, I know where to go get it from. And it also reduces, you know, having to call and going through that painful process of hit 1 to talk to customer service, hit 2 to talk to Lost and Found, right? It shortens the time for everybody. Now, who likes to file their expenses? Exactly. Nobody likes to file their expenses because it's a very painful process sometimes. And depending on who your accountant is and who your HR requirements are, it can be a very long process. So ExpenseBot is great because it allows you to very quickly file your expenses and get them approved so that you can get your money back. With ExpenseBot, sorry, I'll go back. You know, you basically say, you ping it and say, hi. It replies to, oh, do you have some expenses for me? Yes, I have some new expenses. Where's the receipt? You can pull it from mobile. You can pull it from your desktop in your expenses folder. Quickly upload that image. It's going to analyze the image. So it's going to actually do character recognition on the receipt and tell you $6.90. So it's reading that at the top there. You can't really see it here, but you paid $6.90. It's a little cheeky, right? No, it seems like you got good value. $6.90 for $2 for 2 cups of coffee, right? And then it gives you, asks you for expense description. So I had a coffee with a customer, 2 Starbucks coffees. I said, okay, great, that's all I need. This interaction is then given in a report to the manager, to the HR, to the accountant, whoever's in charge of expenses, and then they can quickly approve or ask for more information or something like that. So next one is a recognition bot. Now this will play in the background. I'll just kind of talk through it. This is something that GoPomelo has really taken to. This is not our bot, but I will show you a version that we've done of this. It's very important in an organization for people to feel appreciated, and this is a very easy way to quickly commend someone for good work or to recognize their achievements in helping a project done, right? We believe that, when people are talking to each other, giving recognition, it really helps the company culture and really appreciate your coworkers more. And so you can very quickly create these things like e-cards, and then these things get posted to your company's WorkPlace instance so that the whole company can see. Now, it can be limited by your team, it can be limited by your organization, but basically, very quickly, you can say, hey, thanks, I really appreciate what you did for me, that's excellent, and then the whole company will know, and then that gets published onto your WorkPlace instance very quickly, so everyone knows.
Wow.
Appreciate it. Right? This took about a minute, and now everyone in the company knows that, hey, Anthony did a great job today at his speech at the WorkPlace. And it can be further, you can do recognition, things like that. So, for example, you can stop the video, please. So we, at GoPomelo, we've done a variation of this. We call it the thanks bot. Let's get the slide back. Okay, so this is a screenshot from our instance of WorkPlace at GoPomelo, and we created the thanks bot. Now, basically, it's very simple in its nature, but it has a lot of value. As I said, you want your teams to feel like they're appreciated. And so by doing the thanks bot, we can very quickly, on WorkPlace, thank a team member. So, just say, and it's very simple. Type @thanks, type the person's name, and that's it. They get a thanks received on their messenger, on their messenger. They get an email notification if that's set up on your company's instance as well. So you have very quickly that appreciation shared across the company. So here's an example I did yesterday. I sent a thanks to my marketing team at Bangkok, Gus and Thomas. And I said, thanks for assisting in planning the event tomorrow. They received the thanks, and obviously you can track who sent thanks, who received thanks, things like that. We have heard of some companies extending this further to KPIs and linking into KPIs in a business setting. So if people are looking at employee performance and how people are doing, this could be another metric by which people are kind of being assessed for promotion or being assessed for other types of things in their organizations, right? Now, obviously, this shouldn't be the all-defining KPI. Obviously, performance has a lot of components to it, but this could be one of them. And we're seeing this in some customers using this for that purpose. Now, this is kind of my last slide talking about bots, and I appreciate your patience sitting through this with me. I like to use this because of what it means, right? Everyone knows a glacier, right? Glacier is much more than what you see on top. And that's kind of what we're looking at with artificial intelligence now. Artificial intelligence is very good for narrow, defined tasks right now. And it's getting smarter, and the tasks will get broader. But you have to understand, for a bot to be effective, it has to have a lot of context. You have to have a lot of interaction and understanding how it's supposed to work with people that or interact with people that are using it. So while it looks beautiful on top, there are still a lot of things and components that have to be programmed and modeled for it to work effectively. Now, just to wrap up on this section, bots are here and they're going to continue to evolve. If you're a programmer, if you're an HR manager, if you're a manager, or just a regular employee, you're going to start seeing these a lot more in your consumer space and in your workspace. As I said, they're good for narrow interactions, but we have instances like the super bots. They're already doing a lot of different types of interactions, right? Some of them not well, some of them better than others, right? I always use my Google Home as an example. I love my Google Home. I use it for really silly things like setting timers when I'm cooking, telling me the weather, things like that, right? But when you see a new function, you can see it learning. So for example, the first time it was able to play a YouTube video for me on my TV, I said, okay Google, play NBA sports videos on YouTube. You can see it. Has a little icon, the lights moving around. It takes about 15 seconds to process that, give or take. But then, after I did it a couple more times, it was processing that in under 1 second. It was constantly evolving and getting smarter. So it knows, and it also knows my voice. So it knows the difference of when I tell it to play a YouTube video or when my wife asks it to play a YouTube video. So it's actually learning that as well. They need to be able to understand, but they also need to know when they've bitten off more when they can chew, right? When they're in over their head. So customer service is a good example of this. There will be a point at some of these workflows with customer service that the bot cannot go with the bot will stop being valuable. And you need to be able to gracefully pass off to a human who can then talk to the person, understand the context better, and understand the content better. So it's coming, it's evolving, right? And then as development continues, we're going to find new use cases. A lot of people will find that there's a lot of use cases we don't know about. I'm really glad you talk to us about it, and I'm happy to discuss with you more. So I kind of hit right on 11 o'clock. I'm right on schedule. I'm going to go into the next section quickly, but before I do that, I would really appreciate if you haven't filled out a feedback form, please do that now. If you need to, it can take about 2 minutes. And there is a reward for doing that, and I'll tell you in about 2 minutes. But now, I'll go ahead and tell you now. If you fill out a feedback form with your work email and give us honest feedback, we will send you an extended trial for WorkPlace that will be extended to September. So you will have the full enterprise functionality of WorkPlace for nearly 3 months. So this is a very nice offer. We appreciate your feedback, and then obviously Go Pamela and the WorkPlace team, we will follow up with you about how we can help you with that and setting up your instant. So please fill that out. We really appreciate it. We are trying to improve all of our performances, and we will be doing a lot more events in Vietnam this year. Okay. Everyone, have you taken it already? I'm going to move on. All right, beautiful. So, Anthony has talked a bit about the deployment process, right? And WorkPlace is a communication tool. It is an enterprise tool, but it is a communication tool. So you need to have a lot of things in place. With Go Pomelo, we've been deploying cloud technologies for nearly a decade. We really understand the requirements of different businesses and how they deploy things. And that's everything. That's WorkPlace, that's Salesforce, that's G Suite, Google Cloud Platform applications. We're very good at developing these processes. So for WorkPlace, you want to do three things. Now, to maximize your investment, you have to do these three things. You have to empower your IT teams. This is always something that we struggle with, and we're getting much better at it every time, is including IT. Because sometimes when you talk with IT staff, they are very used to working a certain way, and they don't want to change. But you have to help them to learn that this is another tool for them. This is something that they can add more value to themselves and to the organization. So it's always important for us to get the IT team on board and show them how they can use WorkPlace. And actually, it's better because after we deploy, they're the ones who are going to be responsible for maintaining, right? So we always want to empower the IT teams. Build adoption. This is done a lot of different ways, but we really want people to start hitting that adoption rate, signing up, hosting Facebook Live. These are all things that really build adoption and help people understand how to use the tools and start enjoying to use them as well. And then if you empower IT and build adoption, it can help you to drive innovation. So you could be using WorkPlace in ways that we're not even thinking of. Anthony mentioned some of his customers who use WorkPlace more than Facebook does. That could lead to other things where you're improving your business within WorkPlace. So that could be a tool for you, right? We really think that's important to help drive innovation. And that's really for the managers and the financial controllers, maximizing ROI, which is important. And it's really about taking a state from how it is and moving it to a future state. As I said before, change can be difficult for a lot of people, but you have to help them do that and move them from where they are to the next state and help them to innovate. The 5 pillars that we found are very critical for Facebook WorkPlace success. First, executive management. My good friend Tony Fernandez, he's the key example of this. He's driving it from the top down. Technical integration. Anthony's talked a bit about this. Things like authentication, security, data retention, all of these have to be mapped out and have to be planned correctly for a good deployment and for successful adoption. So technical integration is key. Group structure. I don't know if you noticed in my screenshots of my WorkPlace instance, we have a lot of groups. Sales and marketing have a group, HR have a group. There is a global group for all of the employees. There's a development group. There's a change manager group. This is important because it helps to determine where your information goes first, and then also who sees that information and its relevance to your teams. Communication strategy. We have to go live. We have to let people know that it's coming. We have a lot of activities around that. There's games, there's emails, there's blasters, there's events. All of these things have to be planned so that you have a good communication strategy once before the deployment, and then after the deployment, how do you use Facebook to communicate? Anthony mentioned a good point. You don't want to put pictures of food on WorkPlace. That's not what it's for. It's for communicating information about your business, not for posting food pics. But we help you with that. We can help you develop that by understanding your culture and then developing that with you. And then next, early champions. Has anyone ever been part of an enterprise software rollout? Say your organization changes from Microsoft to Google. Has anyone been involved in that? Okay, one person. Can be kind of painful sometimes, right? Yes, absolutely. We do this a lot, so we know. What we do when we do this is we identify champions. So these are the people from different parts of the business that are going to be your kind of de facto trainers, if you will. They will be the ones who will be the first line of support for the rest of their team members. They will get training in advance of the deployment. They will get training in advance of the go live, and they will be the ones who adopt the technology fastest, and then kind of the ones who spread that knowledge internally. And we do that through training, right? So we identify those early champions, and it's not just IT. Obviously, IT can be a very important one, but we want to have input from everyone because everyone has to use it. So every team is going to be using WorkPlace. We identify a champion and bring them into the deployment plan. It's very important. Just to go over the pillar one, so you have to have management on board. For the deployment, it can't be a bottom-up thing. For deployment, we really feel that it has to be a top-down engagement. It helps because leaders feel connected, staff feel connected, right? They're really having very quick interactions with their teams. Change comes from the top down, and you can get feedback. Now maybe that may be scary for some managers, but generally we find it's pretty good for them to have feedback about their teams, and it opens up the information, right? Things aren't siloed, things aren't isolated. Information is not isolated. People can talk to each other and get the information they want. Technical integration, as I mentioned, right? Very important, especially on the enterprise side, but also for small businesses. We have to understand what your security and admin burdens are, and then help you reduce them. A lot of IT, when we come in, it's another thing I have to manage, another system I have to take care of. It shouldn't be that way. We want them to feel empowered to use the tools. And it has to be a seamless experience. You don't want to be jumping in on one app, going to the other app, uploading to one program, downloading to another, be very tedious. You don't want that. So we do that by creating workflows around WorkPlace to help that transition. And then also security, authentication, things like SSO, IDP. You need those, so we help with integration of those. Oh, I think I lost some. Oh, okay, sorry. Here's just a kind of, I won't spend too much time on this because a lot of people, this may mean nothing to, but it is important for someone who's got a technical background. These are all the things that we're doing through your technical integration. Setting up your single sign-on, setting up your IDP, managing CSV files for account management, helping you to use the APIs. We really find it's empowering for the IT teams, and especially with companies that have in-house development, for them to have access to the APIs so they can start to develop their own bots, or they can, improve the workflows and the integration between maybe their CRM, their accounting, things like that. So we expose the APIs, give training around the APIs as well. And then obviously managing the groups and the content. As I said, the groups are really important. We find it's the heart and soul of WorkPlace. A little spelling error there, but no problem. So groups are the heart and soul of it, and really what makes WorkPlace a good tool because it helps you communicate with your teams. They allow you for the knowledge to be transferred, and it lets you to give context to your conversations and work. Very important. So we identify the pre-launch goals. Who are we going to use? Who's going to be our champions? How are we going to mobilize them? How are we going to generate excitement and buzz? We work with your HR, your marketing teams, your business manager. What gets your company excited? And we design and roll that around that. We identify how we want to achieve the launch goals. Now, 80% seems very high, but we found in our deployment in some other countries, 80% is very achievable, very quick. And for companies to really adopt it, they need to be hitting at least 80% adoption. So that means within the first 2 days, 80% of the organization is logged in, signed in, and using the platform. And then, sharing. We want people sharing all the time, weekly, 60%. That's a good number. And obviously your organization could be different. This is just from our previous experience. And then post-launch, how do we increase those numbers? How do we get them to be over 90? How do you sustain it? How do you get people posting 70% of the time? These are things that I mentioned in the very beginning about services that we can offer post-deployment, how to keep your company engaged, how to keep your business, your users engaged, and using the tools to innovate. Again, the early champions, I'll quickly talk about them. You know, they're the ones who will become our de facto trainers, our de facto leaders, the people who are in the organization that are not Go Pomelo, that are using the product and understand it. They are the first line of help, the first line of support, and if you have good champions, you will have good adoption. We've seen it many times, it's just the way it is, it's true. And they can help drive usage and answer the questions, and also help the IT guys, because the IT guys may be overwhelmed. Champions will help them reduce that stress. Now, you know, I kind of talked about all these people in some form or other, and I don't want to spend too much time on this because there's a lot of stuff there to look at. But you know, you basically have these people on our side and on the customer side. So the executive sponsor will obviously be on the customer side, but then we assign kind of project managers for the company and for ourselves to lead the project, and then technical integrations, IT guys talking to IT guys, communication leads, marketing and HR talking to marketing and HR, and then champions. So this is a very two-way process, and we feel that this is really how you adopt it and get the adoption. Scary looking, huh? Lots of stuff going on. This could be a deployment. This is not how we do deployment. This is, you know, could be what you're looking at, and it looks very intimidating. How do you line up the dates? How do you do this? How do you kick this off? Really, with our services and with, you know, really the ease of use of setting up WorkPlace that Facebook is set up, it can look something more like this. A bit nicer to look at, a little easier to understand and manage. And you clearly identify who's going to be doing what at what times in the process. From our experience, we found rollouts for WorkPlace take about 5 to 7 weeks. So it's pretty quick in terms of actually enterprise rollout. Obviously, you can't hold me to that number. If you tell me you have an organization with 50,000 people in it, it may take a little bit longer. But you know, this is just kind of based on our experience. And we think it's a good number to start with so companies can understand what they're getting into before they even start. Again, just quickly highlight the service lines. You guys have heard me talk enough about this. So just things that I've highlighted today, the change management, the transformation, and the bot development. These are things that Go Pomelo and WorkPlace really have enabled us to provide good services around. And we hope that, you know, we spark some interest with you, and you'd be interested about having conversations with all of these. And that is it. We are officially done. Thank you very much for your time.